Okay, hello everybody. This is Joe DiChiara, the founder of Bedrock Business Builders and Bedrock University. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to go through what I use, one of my tools for time management, which is what I call my 30-day business success planner. Now, you could use anything you want. There's tons of planners out there. Personally, none of them really worked for me. None of them had everything that I wanted in the order that I wanted. So I did like any good entrepreneur would do. I created my own. And this is what I have, and you're free to use this. You can obviously take my logo off it, but this is free for the public. It it took me time to build it, but it's not copyrighted or anything. And I built this for entrepreneurs to help them. And if you can use this, fine. But it may not be exactly what you want. So that's why I'm giving it to you in a Word format so that you can adapt it to what you need. And so this is 90 days. I do have another guide that is 90 days, and that's a little bit more intense. And I actually use both of them. 30 days is for short term, 90 days is I'm looking a little bit further out. But keep it simple. You can start with the 30-day planner because, to be honest with you, if you're not planning your business and your life at least 30 days out, you got to look at that. So what I do, I hold myself accountable, and I don't do this on the computer. I print this out and actually hand write it. And I've mentioned this before. If you've listened to any of my trainings, it's a proven fact that using a pencil or a pen on paper helps you retain the information, like, I don't know, 1,000 times easier, whatever it is. But the fact of you physically moving your hand and looking at it, think about it. Something's got to be happening there. So I print it out. I put the date I started and the date completed. And to be perfectly honest with you, full disclosure, I have never done this 30 days straight. I don't have a 30-day planner that's every day that I checked off the boxes, just like Benjamin Franklin didn't check off all the boxes on his moral perfection project. So nobody's perfect, but we keep trying. Now, the first section in here is, if you're not familiar with it, I have 13 principles of success that I follow, and I have a little chart here, and I actually created this before I saw what Benjamin Franklin did. So I don't want you to think that I copied Benjamin Franklin. He might have a copyright on his thing or something, but I'm making a public announcement that I did not take this from Benjamin Franklin. And it's a way to keep me in check, just like it was for Ben. And every week I, try to focus on one of my principles. And, it's just really a reminder. It's a visual, physical reminder of what I'm supposed to do, not only in my business, but in my life. And so I actually, full disclosure, I'm making a contract to myself. And it's a 30-day contract. And like I said, I've never completed it. So my goal, just like Benjamin Franklin's was, is to complete it. This is where I keep my definite chief aim, and it's blank because I handwrite it for the same reason that I just told you. So the plan is that every day I have this 30-day planner, and I start at the beginning, right at the top, and I'll just flip through these pages when I'm in sync, when I'm in my rhythm, when I'm not in the middle of tax season and getting bombarded with all kinds of distractions. My routine is to get up, do my exercises, eat. I take about 2 hours in the morning to get ready before I start working. And this is one of the things I learned that they don't teach in school about, you got to take care of yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of your business, because your business is like a baby. Okay, you can't let it go without looking. you can't, you're not going to hand it off to somebody to run it unless you trust that person. So you got to keep sharp, and this is how I keep sharp. I spend the time, I invest the time in the morning so that I could have a productive day. So I'm reminding myself of what my principles are and what I should be focusing on this week. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually go into my library and watch one of the videos I saved on one of these principles, because I have a whole library full of years worth of doing this, searching for a video on tenacity, on focus, on mastermind. And then I save it, and now I go back to that. That's one of my assets. That's an intangible asset. And going forward, then I recite my definite chief aim. You're supposed to do that in the morning and the night. And then I start going into my routines. What are the regular routines that I do on a daily basis that I need to keep check on? So one of them might be, stretching, exercise, my meditations. Then I have on mine, my social media. Every day I try to connect with my people in social media, in my own group, in other people's groups. And this is the routine that I have. Now, everybody's got a task list, and I have one. And this is one way I keep track of my task. And if you follow me, I'll tell you there's another way. I have several ways of doing just about everything. So this is one way. The other way is simple email. When somebody sends me something I need to do, I keep it in my email. If I get something to do, I'll email myself. And then one of my routines is every morning I'm going to get up, look at my emails, and I start at the bottom because those are the oldest. And I start checking them off. And when my email gets too long, I know I need to spend some time on all of those things. Another thing I do for time management is when something comes in that I could take care of in less than 5 minutes, I'm doing it right then. I'm not putting it on the side for me to do later, because later I'll have, 15 3-minute things to do, and that winds up being 3 hours. So that's just, as it comes in, I wipe it off my plate. I don't have these little flies running in my head about little things that I didn't do, loose ends I didn't tie up. If I could do it right away, like sending somebody a copy of their tax return, like answering a tax notice that I have a template for, if I could just get this out of my way, why I don't even have to put it on my list of things to do. And that keeps my list short. Goals, projects, okay? Big events coming up, notes, more notes, lists. You just keep an open mind. What do you want to keep track of? I have all kinds of stuff to keep track of, and I had them all over the place. This helped me customize what I needed and put everything in one central location. I don't have to go all over the place looking for what's on my agenda. All I got to do is look at my 30-day planner, and everything is there. And that's the key. No, it's not the key. It's one of the keys. There's a lot of keys. But the truth is that all of this, everything I do, has more to do with the organization, the structure of how we do it, rather than the details of what we do. In other words, people get lost in the minutia of all the stuff. And there's a lot of stuff, no matter what kind of business you're in, there's a lot of stuff to keep track of. And if you're not on top of this, it's going to get on top of you one way or another. So this is my list. Now over here, I put some other things in here. If you're familiar with a vision board, I said, if I'm going to look at this thing every day, and I should be looking at my vision board, doesn't it make sense to incorporate it in this little 30-day planner? So I'll put all kinds of pictures, you know, the big house on the beach that I want, barrels full of money, vacation. So I just look at that. And you don't have to do that, but I do. But just as a caution, the ink, if you're going to use color pictures, the ink is going to cost you a lot of money. So, and then down here, I got what I call wins. Now, wins are those moments in time that you captured in a picture that when you look at it, it just makes you smile. I mean, pictures of my dog, my kids, my girlfriend, just things that just, when you look at it, nothing else matters. You could be having the worst day of your life, but when you look at one of these pictures, you can't not smile. And then I have, you know, my month in review and my quarter in review. To be honest with you, I don't really use this that much. I'm an accountant. I know what my revenue is. I should do it, but I'm not perfect. I don't do everything. And then down here, I just got a couple of blank calendars, just in case I need to do it by hand and jot in a little thing. And what this is, it's like a catch-all, just like my email system. I set up a system so that none of the details can fall through the cracks. I don't remember things. I put them into my system. And this 30-day planner is an integral part of my system. So that's my story. I'm sticking with it. You need to have a system. And most of all, people, most of all, if you want to be an entrepreneur and own a business and not own a job, and there's a big difference, because a job you got to work at. A business is something that you can go and have a vacation. Now, owning a job is a lot better than having a job, because owning a job, at least you have some flexibility on your time. A lot of people do that for life choices, and that's fine, as long as you know what you're doing. But in this case, no matter what it is, if you can master your time, then you can master business. But until you can do that, you're going to have a really hard time. And my job is to try to make it easier for you. So again, Joe DeChara, that's my story. I'm sticking with it. BedrockBusinessBuilders.com and BedrockUniversity.com. Over and out. Thank you.